Good morning, everyone. It is Monday morning, July 6th, and we are entering the second week of our class. And what I will be doing today, and I intend to do every week, at the beginning of the week, probably Sunday night, Monday morning, sometime in that time frame, is to offer a little look back at what we did the week before, the material that we covered, and how I perceive the course of events is going, and also to give you a little look ahead at what's in store for you this week as you enter week 2. And also, we will frequently use this to give you some information about upcoming assignments, other events, things that may change, and anything else really going on with the course. So I really hope you will take the time to look at these as we go forward. They will be a recurring feature. Okay? So in the first week, we had a very interesting discussion going on. I did try to get to most people. I probably didn't get to everyone, and I really apologize for that. That's really not something I want to do, but it's just everybody was very, very detailed in their look at things. I really, really appreciated that, the depth of thought that went into a lot of your entries and in debating back and forth with one another. I really believe that the discussion board is where we're going to get a lot of the learning done in this course. The materials are important, but discussing them is perhaps even more important as we understand how the theories of organizations are applied and how we see things differently in different situations and how different environments call for different organizations, different projects call for different forms of organization. Many complex organizations may have sub-organizations beneath them, so to speak. And those may take different form. Well, how do you reconcile that? And as you saw in many cases from my questioning this week, there's always the question of the individual. How does the individual fit into an organization? How does the organization use, perhaps a strong word, accommodate, understand? All these come into play, the needs of the individual. And what are the requirements of individual success within an organization, and what are the requirements of organizational success for individuals? So we're going to see a lot of things going on. This week, in fact, it's the main topics are structure. And what are the obstacles to creating an organizational structure? What are the obstacles to change? And this is a recurring theme throughout the course. And the discussion, I think, you're going to find is very interesting because we talk about the need for change in a changing environment. Well, what better time could there be to be having that discussion than in the summer of 2020, right? Things are changing not by the day, more by the hour, maybe by the minute, and that's not an exaggeration. So a lot of adaptation is going around us. And the example we have is a historical example. It really goes back about 50 years, 70 years ago. And this whole concept of the Cold War and military strategies. And with a very significant number of military personnel in our course and veterans, I think you'll find this interesting. I found the discussion interesting as I've taught the course several times before, because it actually encompasses, for me, personal experience. This is my history. This is what I grew up with. This is the environment I began to become a young a teenager and an adult in this environment, and understand what was going on in the world, and to see it change as much as I have. This really brought me back to what we thought about back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and now 20 years into the 21st century, are we seeing things again developing in this way? It's just fascinating to me. So it is a little bit of a historical stretch for most people, but I think you'll find it very interesting and one I think we ought to pursue. But it's the whole theme of how do we function in changing environments? How do our organizations have to reflect their adaptations in how they're structured and on how decisions are made and what do we need to do? So these are the things that we're going to be looking at, all right? The mechanics of things, I would say, as I just started to a few moments ago, very happy with the way the first discussion went. I understand that there were some problems with getting the ebook for some people. I hope those have been resolved by now. Those were systemic problems. Don't worry, it wasn't you. It was throughout the system. So I think those have been resolved. I think that we have established a pattern for how we want to do things. I will be getting to begin grading discussions this evening. And my pattern is to grade the discussions first and the papers second, simply because people tend to get right back into the discussion, and I think that if I can get that done first, then you will have the advantage of having the feedback you got on last week's discussion as you go into the current week's discussion, and you'll be using that first. The papers, people tend to wait before they begin those, and towards the end of the week, so those take me a little longer, obviously, to get to. There are 15 people in the class. 15 papers is a goodly amount, so we'll try to get those all done, but my target for everything is to be done by Wednesday evening. Sometimes that will spill over into Thursday morning, and I think that's still enough time for you to get feedback that you can use. I try to not cut and paste feedback. I try to be very original about it. And one of the other things I think I am going to do, I do have a video I made for the previous class, previous mod, where I did notice some issues coming up in terms of writing and understanding academic writing, and there were some problems, and I haven't even opened anybody's paper yet. So when I post that next video, it is not in response to anything that has happened in this course. Okay? It is cumulative previous experience. But there are things like, do I write the questions into the paper? The answer is no. Can I use a paper that I wrote in a previous class? The answer is no. Okay, and I give you my reasons why. And they are not just my personal reasons, these are commonly accepted procedures in academic writing and an academic procedure. So I do want people to understand those, so I'll just get that in front of everybody up front. Again, not in response to any specific interest in incidents from this class that I've seen, because I haven't seen anything yet. Okay, so those are some things I want people to do. People have actually asked me some questions already and everything. Use that Ask the Professor discussion board if it's something you feel that maybe everyone could benefit from. If not, send me email, okay? I do tend to try to get the email as fast as I can. If I haven't gotten back within a day, I am within 24 hours. I'm making a terrible error, and I just going to try not to make that error. I do expect everybody to review the materials. I do expect you to use these videos because I not only convey information, as I said earlier, about the academic material, the learning resources, what are we doing, what have we done, but also if there are any changes to anything that needs to be explained, anything that's right now, be honest with you, there could be changes in university conditions and policies, general policies that maybe you don't get enough communication about. I will let you know about those because we're all throughout higher education trying to figure out what to do next. And it's a challenging time, but it's a time for us to kind of live up to our own standards and to apply the theories that we teach about, because in this current environment, organizational change, organizational adaptability, all that comes into play. So thank you for listening to me this morning, and I look forward to what we get out of this week. Thank you very much.